Today, an extraordinary sea adventure awaits. Ready for unimaginable challenges? Not Hugh and Huan. The bandits drifted at sea for days, parched as desert camels. Duck-homing drank seawater, and Hugh and Huan's yells were in vain. He dived into the sea to drink water, in utter agony. The mountain bandits had never seen such a handsome sight. He even thought he was a whale. Poor Hugh and Huan was shoving no. But the crew was deaf to his plea. Duck-homing threw his spear with all his might and earned cheers from the bandits, as if they had caught a treasure fish. But it turned out to be an angry shark that refused to be caught by these fools, launching a vigorous counterattack and shooting back in an instant. At this very moment, the white-haired individual who had previously jumped into the sea suddenly emerged, and to everyone's surprise, he was still alive and obsessed with seeking revenge. The bandits, in a state of panic, were eager to fire the cannons to eliminate the shark, but the cannons were so fast that they couldn't control the direction, ultimately shattering the white-haired guy's boat to pieces. This completely settled the feud between the two once and for all, and after fleeing for tens of thousands of miles, the ship finally came to a halt. The shark was exhausted. The bandits rejoiced like lottery winners, hurriedly sailing back to share their loot, while Hugh and Huan couldn't stand it. He shouted, "That shark is no goldfish," and used all his strength to drag this shark up. Duck-homing naively thought that all fish were the same. However, he began to be cautious, thinking to himself about how he was about to catch a shark and convincing himself, "I can't be wrong about this." But the playful bald guy accidentally threw the dynamite, and poof, the little boat was sent flying. They decided to steal a big ship. Hugh and Huan said, "One can't run it alone. Stealing it's useless." He added, "Following you seems hopeless. I can't even eat well. What a bad deal." At a critical moment, how could he leave? Duck-homing said, "Hugh and Huan, you are a surprise, the second here." Naturally, Hugh and Huan couldn't resist the temptation, so he decided to stay and flexed his muscles by taking down those who had bullied him before. After a lot of hustle and bustle, the bandits finally stole a big ship and burned down the other boats to avoid being chased. Duck-homing ran into his old enemy, the one enemies meeting always spark intense encounters, but there was no time for revenge, so they quickly fled. They finally sailed off into the sea with Hugh and Huan throwing up while barking orders at the bandits. He asked Duck-homing, "With so many goldfish, how can we tell which one ate the fruit blood?" Duck-homing looked relaxed. "Why are you so useless? We'll just catch them one by one. What's there to worry about? Brothers, get ready for the money." At that moment, a goldfish jumped out of the water, and its gigantic figure left everyone in awe. Turtlefish! Turtlefish! The papers for the turtlefish aren't up to snuff, even though it's not the most popular thing in the world. But this one is surely a troublemaker, especially with the chaos caused by the old prison eye. It all kicked off with a joke. At least you've got that hilariously funny dog's butt. Of course, it's ultimately the dog's butt that steals the show with its humor. Are you not going to catch those? Hurry up and grab them. That's a fish. Hurry, we've got to eat. Duck-homing's face turned serious instantly. Why didn't anyone stop us? How could we even catch something so big? Hugh and Huan felt so wronged he was on the verge of tears. No matter how he yelled, no one heard, and he was reduced to a monster, beaten by bandits. Sunsign's pirate ship was ready to catch fish, and after days of sailing, they finally spotted that treasure on the horizon. Next to it was a tiny goldfish. When they were hesitating about whether to fire, guess who came knocking? The white-haired guy. Sunsign quickly collected himself, ready to duel, but this time the white-haired guy wasn't falling for it. So the two sides faced off, while the bandits lost interest in fish catching, thinking that life in the mountains was way better. What's great about seafood? Tree bark and wild veggies are true delights. Unknowingly, the ship drifted between two battle-ready vessels. Classic. Duck-homing saw Sunsign and quickly shouted, "Hey, miss. Miss me?" Just then, all hell broke loose, and chaos ensued. This time, Sunsign was badly beaten, and Harry Potter fled quickly. Duck-homing then flattered, "Big bro, you're awesome." Then he went on to tell stories and plea, the meeting of mountains and seas' fate. Why don't we become sworn brothers? What about the giant hole you made in my ship? In the end, both sank into the sea, and everyone wondered, was that the end? Surprisingly, the whale returned. Sunsign had saved it as a baby, and now it repaid by taking them to an island. Back in the mountains, Ming excelled, gathering herbs for Sunshine and making fire, but his heart raced at the beauty's sight. Subtitles. What thoughts were running through the mind of this 30-year-old single man at this very moment? Despite the fact that Sunshine felt quite nauseated by Ming, their connection began to grow stronger and stronger. They spent the day talking and discovered a common language, hating officials who only know how to oppress commoners. One became a pirate. They bonded, then both needed to pee and spotted a big ship nearby. The escaped rabbit-headed man returned, and they quickly broke the chains to rescue. Meanwhile, bandits and pirates were locked together, ignoring each other. He's trash. He's junk. Hyun found himself in a dilemma, unsure of where he belonged. He had to maintain a neutral stance to avoid getting beaten up, but soon after, a fierce fight erupted between the two sides. Hyun thought, I'm smarter this way. I want to fend either side and just watch the show just in time for my own demise. The unlucky Hyun lamented, why's my life so tough? Pirate now, bandit next, yet no good end. At that moment, Sunshine and Ming snuck in, tossing out some smoke bombs to successfully rescue everyone. Hyun awkwardly apologized, I shouldn't have just left. Sunshine showed great understanding. Hyun considered it, found returning to the ship too simple, and chose to stay a bandit. Before leaving, Ming asked Sunshine, join me in the mountains. However, Sunshine said there are still things to deal with at sea, and with that one final cut, she dashed the bandits' hopes of returning home.